Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today X marks the spot as TaToH, playing as the Gurjaras in red, and GL.DauT, playing as the Romans in blue, find themselves stranded on what looks like a nomad version of Four Lakes. Now while the players find suitable locations for their town centers, ooh, this looks like a bit like the nuclear sign for GL.DauT here, explore their immediate surroundings and try to go up to Feudal as fast as possible. Let's take a look at the civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Gurjaras are a civilization that very much focuses on man's other four-legged best friends. I am talking about horses, camels, and elephants. Gurjara camels and elephants are created faster. All of their mounted units deal extra bonus damage. Their camel line units and their elephant archers can be upgraded to make them much harder to kill with a big old +4 melee armor boost. And their first unique unit is the Shrevamsha Rider, a super fast, versatile cavalry unit that can actually dodge enemy projectiles. Now, to support their mounted units against pesky, annoying things like infantry and pikemen and halberdiers, the Gurjaras can actually field a second unique unit, the Chakram Thrower. This is an infantry unit with a ranged melee attack who throws discs, very much like Xena Warrior Princess, that can hit multiple targets at once. Now, though the damage output is quite low, the pass-through to other units is actually 100%, and they do come with a small +1 attack bonus against infantry. Now, the Gurjaras, in order to help them build a big military infrastructure, take a look at this. They do start the game with 2 free berry bushes underneath the town center. They can garrison their livestock, which we'll see in a second if that actually happens here for TaToH, and they can upgrade their entire military industrial complex so that all Gurjara military units cost 25% less food. Now, across what looks like a big plateau to the north, we've got GL.TaToH playing as the Romans, a mixed land-based naval civilization with a few strong unit features that make them potentially incredibly dangerous in the later stages of the game. To start with, Roman infantry units do receive double the effect of blacksmith armor upgrades. They do have access to the legionary. This is a tanky, well-armored, unique infantry unit that replaces their two-handed swordsmen and champions, and does come with a pretty decent attack bonus +4 against other infantry units. And to make their infantry even deadlier, the Romans can turn to their second unique unit, the Centurion. This is a heavy cavalry unit that actually increases the movement speed and attack speed of any militia line units under its command. GL.TaToH exploring with these adorable sheep while I continue discussing the civ features. Now, the Romans, to overwhelm their opponents on the field of battle, can actually upgrade all of their militia line units, all of their knight line units, and their centurions, not only to train 50% faster, but also to come with a small +5 charge attack. Think Burgundian Coustelier, but a lot less. Now, to back up their army, the Romans do have access to the deadliest scorpion in the game, in my opinion. Not only do these siege units cost a lot less gold, think Schlachter for scorpions, but their minimum range is lowered from 2 to 1. They can be upgraded to fire faster, and they're the only scorpions in the game that benefit from the ballistics technology. Now, to help a player get to the later stages of the game and maintain the might of the Roman Empire, Roman villagers do gather resources. They build and repair structures, all 5% faster than generic villagers in the game. Those are the two civilizations, and if you take a look at the minimap, you will see again we are on what looked like a very nomadic version of Four Lakes. TaToH has chosen to place his primary town center right on the top of the plateau next to the forest. He has done a good amount of exploration. If you take a look at the map, a Roman, like we saw, placing his town center nestled in between a bunch of bamboo. Now, I'm not too sure what to think of this. Sure, it looks like it might be safer. The avenues of attack might be a bit, constrained and therefore beneficial for a town center full of villagers firing arrows on top of whoever's attacking them. But this is also a lot less space for farms, a lot less maneuverability. What are you going to do if there's an archer unit that places itself here? How are you going to defend against that? Or a siege unit that places itself here? How is this town center going to defend? Its unit's going to have to go all the way down and south, all the way left and south. In any event, we'll see. That is neither here nor there. Both players expanding their bases. It is our Gurjara with a 2-villager lead, or rather 2 civilian population lead. I'm going to have to be very careful in how I speak because we've got water on the map. And when we've got water, we've got civilian fishing ships already out for our Roman and already out for our Gurjara. Bunch of ibex. If you can take a look at the mini map, if you can see on your screen, I don't know what if you're looking at it on a cell phone, probably not going to notice. There's a lot of sources of food here, a lot of little beige dots, little light green. What color is this dot? I've always wondered. It's not white, it's not gray. It kind of looks like it's very light green, possibly beige, but in any event, there's a lot of ibex, there's a lot of wild boars, and there's a lot of bamboo and what looks like pines everywhere. Our Gurjara not really making use of his berries, not really making use of a mill to garrison the livestock. If he does, I'll show you. Always love to see civ bonuses in action. Once you garrison these livestock inside the mill, the food count just goes up and up and up a unit every single second. But for now, both players happy to sit back and grow their economy. TaToH, for the second time in the last couple of seconds, or minutes rather, has found himself housed, although very temporarily. Where did he build the other house? Over here must be, or maybe here. So he is taking the southern and the western lake, the northern lake firmly in control of the SPQR. And speaking of SPQR, we've got the Roman heading up to Feudal off the back of 25 villagers. Let's take a look at TaToH and see what he's queued up. No Feudal yet for him. Basically, lots of food and lumber for both players. Already 3 villagers on gold for our Roman. Is he planning a fast castle, I wonder? Definitely has that feeling to it. Now, the reason I wanted to cast this game, aside from the fact that it's these two players, which are just super fun to watch, I'm curious to see how the Roman is going to handle the Gurjaras, right? I mean, the Gurjaras basically nullify infantry. They basically nullify his cavalry. They basically nullify his archer units. The problem is, for the Gurjara, is that to nullify a lot of that is expensive, right? And you have to get your butt up to the later stages of the game. I mean, Castle, Imperial, Kshatriyas, the upgrade that makes their units cost 25% less food, is a Castle Age upgrade, so don't have to be an Imperial for that. But additional armor on your certain units is very much an Imperial Age upgrade. Will we get to see awesome Scorpions out of our Roman? I don't know. These are two incredibly diverse and versatile civilizations, so I'm not really too sure that I want to predict where this is going. For now, the chaos of this map is showing itself as a random man-at-arms and a villager show up to the quarry and decide to attack the villagers there. He sees the berry bush, he sees the mill, he must suspect that this is where the town center of his opponent is, and more villagers coming forward from DauT. DauT always loved to put on the aggression, but his opponent is also in Feudal now, ahead to villagers / civilians. Let's see the livestock garrison in here already. And there we go. Speaking of aggression, a Roman watchtower being placed right next to the town center. Not too sure why he's running away with his sheep. Put them in the mill already. Has TaToH seen his opponent? No, he is not. So he must be wondering, where the hell are you? Why did you show up to the south of my base? You must be on the right side of the map somewhere, but nah, he is all the way here to the north with a barracks in a very aggressive position. Blacksmith Market tells me that our Gurjara really wants to go fast castle, as does the 800 food, 200 gold that he's amassing. That being said, our Roman, who I originally said wanted to go fast castle, is very happy to sit in Feudal Age. 4 men at arms, no upgrades just yet. In 20 seconds, I'll show you their armor jumps from 1 to 1+2. Everyone else gets a +1. The Romans, remember, they get double the infantry armor upgrade value. So take a look at that. All of a sudden, 2 melee, 3 pierce just makes them incredibly difficult to deal with when you get rushed by them. And look at this. Beautiful play out of our Roman. Lames to the south, lames to the north. That being said, this is not exactly a map where you want to centralize your base, right? This map lends itself to a lot of decentralization, which of course makes casting it always fun. Man-at-Arms discovers the fishing fleet to the south. Villager is going to discover the fishing fleet to the west. And all of a sudden, our Gurjara is under attack in multiple locations, to the south, to the west, in the center, in his main area. his outpost here as well. So DauT is trying to blind his opponent. Take a look at TaToH's vision. He, by the way, sees the Roman dock to the east, which we are also seeing for the first time, unless you've been watching the minimap closer than I have. But look at this. Our Gurjara, undeterred, continuing to jack lumber. Might want to just build a lumber camp over here, or just pivot elsewhere. There's a lot of places to go. Like I said, this is a very decentralized map. So I hope we are going to catch all of the action. This sheep has been here for the last 5 hours, and TaToH still has no clue where his opponent is. That is incredibly sour not to know at the 18-minute mark of the game. But the real question is, does he care? He's got 32 civilians. DauT has 39, and also 6 army count to 1. And vision. Man, oh man, does our Roman have vision. This is just fantastic. Fantastic play out of our Roman for rather so far. And continuing to attack with his men at arms anywhere and everywhere he can. A competing dock. Fire galleys being pumped out here. So the minimap already is just absolutely aflame, which honestly, one would expect. One would very much expect that in a game with DauT in it, right? That's not exactly an unexpected thing, but oh, good location for a castle from our Gurjara. Has hit castle light years ahead. Even at warp speed, warp 3, warp 4, DauT is gonna take a long ass time to get his butt up to Castle Age with only 250 food and 130 gold in the bank. And now these 2 towers of his are also going to be lamed, destroyed, put out of business. And take a look, 2 sheep inside the mill. 115 at the top left of your screen should go up to 116, or never mind, 6 went from 65 to 66, 66 to 67. So it is very slowly climbing up because it is only 2 sheep. And a second dock. Is he looking to surprise his opponent? Going to be very hard to do with TaToH's vision here. Does see the second dock. This man at arms. Why did you abandon this house? It's got 67 HP. Why did you abandon it? To attack a fresh house with a lot more HP. And let's pivot around the map. By the way, has TaToH yet seen his opponent? No, he has not. A very defensive castle out of that. Very out of character for him. So militias, now 4 more trying to bust their way through this mining camp. These militia are trying to destroy the outpost. This militia, again, whacking away at a house. And then we've got a naval battle between fire galleys and fire ships. TaToH deciding, you know what, I'm just going to abandon the water. You've invested a lot of wood into here. You've invested a lot of resources. I'm just going to let you do that. And I'm just going to take a different lake in the center in his base. Still only 2 sheep, despite the fact that he has more around the map. And he is going chakrams. He's seen that his opponent is going full on men at arms in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, likely upgraded the long swordsman. But look at that armor already. +2, +3, rather +2 across the board. Our Gurjara is falling behind. I mean, look at military count. 15 to 2. He's got 750% more military. He's got 20% more civilian population, does our Roman. He's got unhindered control of 1 lake, 2 lakes, and now 3 lakes. 3 entire lakes, and not a single Gurjara unit here to stop him. I mean, this is just going to be a disaster for our Gurjara. This is getting real bad real quick. Chakram. Take a look at this. Infantry 0. Remember, their +1 attack bonus comes when they are elite. And our Gurjara is nowhere close to Imperial Age, although with the castle does have the requisite structure. What a beautiful castle, by the way, huh? I always love to see certain structures in this game. They do look very, very pretty. Please tell me he's at least discovered. No, still no. I want to look at DauT's vision on the map. Look at this vision. He sees almost everything. There is nowhere red can really hide or move units without blue seeing him, and blue is now in Castle Age. Immediately chainmail armor. Where's the upgrade for the men at arms? It is coming once he masses a few more resources. And oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. He wants these 4 villagers dead yesterday. The problem for him is that this mining camp is being repaired for days. So might want to throw in a ranged unit or 2. Gill nets for him. Squires. We saw chainmail armor in 2 seconds. Take a look at the stats on these guys. 4 melee, 5 pierce in Castle Age. In Castle Age. I mean, that's elite sergeant level for an infantry. Finally destroys the house in the center, but here come the chakrams. Let's see how little damage. Oh my god, look at how little damage they do. Man, oh man, do they rely on their pass-through damage to get as much possible kill count as they can. Aside from that, I mean, DauT's sitting pretty. He's getting arson. There's the long swordsman upgrade. He is sitting incredibly pretty right now. The only thing for him, he's got to catch these chakrams. They're just going to move away. And let's see how much damage they do now. 5 of them, but he's pulling him right into a castle fire. You can have a good amount of armor, but a castle is still going to be able to gun you down, especially if you're just a long swordsman. And oh, the villagers take refuge. One of them dies. They take refuge in the tower. DauT says, nah, I am here to kill you, and you cannot hide. You cannot run, because I've created this enclave of death, and all 4 villagers are down. Tower is down to defend the stone. He spends stone, and TaToH, it is becoming very quickly a disaster for her Gurjara. I don't know how else to say it. I honestly don't know how else to say it. His entire northern expansion, the outposts here. Look at his vision, by the way. He sees a good amount on his side of the map. What does he see? He's got 1 lake still left. A 3rd town center going up for him. So he is not out of the game just yet. Why? Because of this structure. And 47 villagers is not terrible. He's got 2 monks, which are going to help against these very slow-moving long swordsmen. Where are the monks, by the way? Are they gathering relics? Yeah, he's already got 2 relics. 1 monk took a little bit of damage, it looks like. Now these guys are attacking the market with their +5 attack bonus against buildings. This market is going to absolutely melt. The chakrams, though, 8 of them being trained. Not exactly a cheap unit, the chakram, to be honest. 95, 100 total resources is not very cheap. Man, can they eat houses. Look at that. Gavin McShooter style. These guys eat houses for breakfast. Man, oh man. And the stream is unending. It looks like the barracks is still here. Still training long swordsmen. He's going up to 23 long swordsmen. I hope we get to see legionaries. I hope we get to see elite chakrams. I hope we get to see chakrams when they can absolutely mow down enemy units, just because, again, that pass-through is so powerful. It's almost like the Arambai when they miss and they do 100% damage. I mean, look at the HP. It's not a lot, but it is going down, 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 down for these units as they clump and move towards the chakrams. So again, it's very much like the Arambai. The damage output is small, but that 100%, in this case, pass-through is just phenomenal. The monk goes down. Interesting pathing there based on the map. It looks like he went into the castle, but I think there's a hill here. But our Roman does not know the meaning of the word stop. He is continuing to stream little blue dots across the map. This time it's a monk. Now it's villagers. There's a swordsman making his way south. And again, undisturbed lake to the west, to the north, and to the east. To the south, no one. So never eat blank wheat, says our Roman as he takes control of basically the resources on the water, which for now are fish, but it looks like the fish have been depopulated here. Uh-oh. Not exactly a game for environmentalists, this Age of Empire. That being said, he's getting fishing traps up and running. Another barracks for him. I mean, look, you know your opponent is going chakrams. You know your opponent's got 12 chakrams and monks. Committing to infantry is a very, very bold strategy, Cotton. It really is. Because now, with the mass of these guys and the pass-through, they can absolutely wreck any column of swordsmen that are heading towards them, especially if they line up like this perfectly. Look at this beautiful parade formation. Oh, what a clump. DauT's got to be very careful here. Again, take a look at supplies. He is ahead in all respects, but TaToH is slowly catching up. 85 total population to 86 to 93. He's down only 7 population space, less than 10% population. Why are you? What's attacking you? Oh, there's a tower here. So sometimes it's hard for me to see when it's these big blocky buildings. And how is he going to go after the houses? These houses, again, are going to fall very quickly. And where are the chakrams? He's going up to 18 of them now. We are 35 minutes into the game. The kill count is quite small. Our Roman has killed 10 civilian units. Probably all 10 are fishing ships. I don't know that he necessarily was able to get that many villagers, but let's see it in action. Let's see the chat. By the way, what's the movement speed? 1.15 to 0.99. So in theory, the chakrams can catch up, can absolutely attack any retreating infantry from behind. Another outpost. This one will literally die before I even finish the sentence. Does he see the one to the south? Sorry, the one to the west. Yes, he does. Sorry, of course he does. The outpost here for him. TaToH looks like he's moving out. A very well-placed castle. I don't mind this at all. There's a few choke points here that make engaging into this castle very dangerous. He brings the chakrams. He brings the monks. There is no way that our Roman can engage into this. But you know what there is way for? Imperial Age. 50 seconds away. Please tell me we're going to get to see legionaries. And our Gurjaras still doesn't know where the hell the attacks are coming from. Let's take a look at his vision now. Doesn't see the barracks. Does see the castle, though. Rather, 2 barracks. Does see the castle. Unfortunately for him, his entire army is here to the east. And 18 chakrams, still not enough to one-shot these long swordsmen, who I'm assuming in 5 seconds, based on his resources, are going to be legionaries. Oh my goodness, 43 long swordsmen. There they are. There they are. Now, we had a conversation during my last live stream where we discussed the legionary. I think it was in a rage forest or a nomad map. Actually, I think it was a nomad map where the legionaries were taking on Japanese samurai, you know, as opposed to any other samurai. We had a discussion that the legionaries looked like they're kind of small, like almost like Gimli from Lord of the Rings. But then we noticed that it's not so much that they're small in stature, it's just that their shields are so big that it makes them look small. So I'm hoping in 35 seconds we'll put this matter to rest, this contested debate, this Oxford debate about whether the legionary is in fact a short unit. The Romans themselves were not exactly quite tall. I think based on archaeology, they were, what, like 5'2", 5'3" average height, based on the doorways that the archaeologists saw. Boom, there they are. So, right, they look kind of squat. They look kind of like Middle-earth dwarves almost, right? But I think it's just the big shield that makes them look like that. I think we're not really used to seeing infantry with massive shields. And here they come again. Look at that +4 attack against infantry. Building attack 6. Treb is here. Original OG town center is dead. Not too sure where he's retreating. What is he looking for exactly with these centurions? He sees so much with his line of sight. He knows there's nothing here. And now they're engaging into the castle. Unfortunately for him, there is a backup castle already up and running in, what, 5 to 6 seconds? And here we go. We've seen them absolutely shred infantry units in the past. How well will the chakrams do against these legionaries? In 1 second, they're going to have a +1. There it is, +1 attack bonus against infantry. And they are doing a pretty good job. TaToH is mowing down these centurions who are lining up. Lining up like it's a line to the kissing booth over here. But ultimately, they all die. What a disaster here for our Blue Roman, who is now under castle fire as well. 43 have become a meager 42. Now this castle is under attack. There is a centurion as well. So remember, movement speed and attack speed do go up. If I'm not mistaken, 10% faster movement speed and 25% faster attack speed. Unfortunately for them, the Centurion is kind of just hanging out. Lazy commander, get your ass into the game here. Oh, they're lining up. They're lining up again, and they're engaging into a castle. So each individual disc does not do that much damage, but the combined massing of these discs, really, ultimately, though, our Roman just proves way too much. Now, I say really because I'm so focused on this part of the map, and I see TaToH taking a fantastic fight. 46 kills for these chakrams. But in reality, take a look. His castle to the east is down. His castle to the north is down. There's a Treb on what looks like higher ground about to gun down this castle here. And there's another Treb training. Not that he knows that, but there is just an unending stream of legionaries and small cohorts all over the map. Sheep are safe for a second, but man, oh man, with their +6 attack bonus against buildings, again, they eat these structures for breakfast. And ultimately, I think our Gurjara knew that he could take as many good engages against clumps of 8 or 9 or 10 legionaries, but there's always more on the horizon. Very, very Roman, to be honest. You know, you kill one legion, and then they all of a sudden show up 4 months later with another legion. You kill that one too, and then 6 months later they show up with another legion, and then they just destroy you. That basically how they wore Hannibal down, if I'm not mistaken, after a bunch of disastrous engages and war and battles. They just managed to wear him down. They just kept coming up with fresh recruits, more and more and more, and that's exactly what DauT did. 38 chakrams, 112 legionaries. That's exactly what he did. PKPM for both players very similar. One towards the middle-ish part of the game, one towards the beginning of the game. And I can't see the economies being too different here. No, exactly. 5 relics for our Roman, 2 for our Gurjara. So I guess there were 7 relics on this map, not really playing a role, about 500 gold difference. More wood, not much. More food, a little bit more. Gold, less than 1,000 difference, and not enough castle stone. Rather, not enough stone for a castle. Conversions, 8 conversions isn't bad when your opponent's army maxed out at 114. Sorry. Yeah, 114 total army is about 7% you converted your opponent's army, which is not bad at all, to be honest. Where's this monk now? He's just hanging out here. And let's take a look at kill count. Very identical, but oh my goodness, look at our Roman villager / fishing ships kill. 49. That is really what tells the story. But kudos to TaToH, losing 49 villagers and only down 9 at the end of the day. Unfortunately for him, because he's only down 9, or rather because he's down 9 and because he lost 49, he needed to invest significant amounts of food into his villagers, significant amounts of resources in pivoting away from attacks, which means that our Roman could just focus very much on producing units, military units, and more. You got it, military units, going up to 36 Roman legionaries. This castle is going to fall. The chakrams are exposed. And I think TaToH, despite the fact that he's not in a terrible position at the exact moment the game ended, I think could see a few moves ahead and realizes that it's only a matter of time. I mean, look at the map. Look at the mini-map. He's been constrained, constricted, pushed into a corner. DauT put TaToH in a corner, whereas he himself has absolute free reign over the map. And although there's not that many resources left, a bit of stone over here, some gold I saw over here, some more stone, some gold to the north. Even though it's only 2 patches, at the end of the day, these are 2 patches that one player gets and the other does not. So it all kind of adds up incrementally, and you best believe there's going to be more of these guys showing up on the field, these Centurions, although again, very far away. I think 10 tiles for a base Centurion, 12 for an elite in terms of units under its command. But in any event, wow, our Roman really just overwhelms with just mighty infantry units. And despite the fact that our two Gurjara, I think, had the right army composition and took a bunch of good fights, 46 kills for 33 chakrams is not bad at all. Ultimately, he does get pushed a little bit too far back, has his back literally against the ether, the void, decides to tap out, seeing a few steps ahead. Once this castle falls, it is basically GG, and it is DauT, our Roman in blue, who gets the W, but truly GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.